And welcome to the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, Florida. It's major arena soccer league action as the Florida Tropics get ready to host the Baltimore Blast. Do not adjust your sets. They are getting ready to announce the starting lineups for the Florida Tropics, who come into this game at 4-0, undefeated, best start in team history. 4-game win streak is best in team history. The Baltimore Blast, hard to say they're struggling. They've lost 2, they've won 2. The 2 they lost were against a very good team from Utica City. And so it's a big game, even though it's early in the season for both of these teams. Joined this evening by Anthony Erico, who would much rather be on the floor than in the broadcast booth tonight. But we thank Anthony for coming along for the ride this evening. Anthony, only 5 games into the regular season, seems almost a little silly to say it's a big game, but the Tropics want to make another statement like they did with their win in Milwaukee. And gosh, who knows, if you're Baltimore, the last time you were under 500, 5 games into a regular season, you'd really have to dig into the record books. So despite the fact that it is early, it does seem like a big game.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. First off, thanks for having me, and you're 100% right. I'd absolutely love to be on the field, but being up here, being able to talk about the game too, keep me involved, is also exciting. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better start from our side. Obviously undefeated. You look at that game against Milwaukee, you know, the current champions of the league, and that was a statement game, and this is another one for us. Played Orlando 3 times. And coming into this game, getting a win at home against Baltimore would be huge for us. Yeah,
it really would be, and it would send, as you said, another message to the rest of the MASL that the Florida Tropics are for real. We'll be back in just a minute with a kickoff. It's Florida Tropics Major Arena Soccer League action on Great 38.
Your Syntec smart home works with devices like the Amazon Echo Dot.
Alexa, turn on all lights.
Many of your home's features can be controlled by giving simple voice commands.
Alexa, set temperature to 72 degrees. Alexa, play my playlist.
For extra convenience, you can also control your home's systems with your smartphone apps.
Major Arena Soccer League action is at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland with the Florida Tropics. amazing family entertainment and non-stop action that doesn't bust the budget. Go to fltropics.com and click tickets. So rise up, Florida, and join the ever-growing Tropics soccer movement. Go to fltropics.com and click tickets.
Here's something we've learned in the last 115 years. Energy connects us. In the conversations, the smiles, the interactions we experience every day. Lakeland Electric is proud to power local businesses, ensuring reliable energy for our friends, our families, our future. Lakeland Electric, powered for life.
Time for indoor soccer here with the Florida Tropics and the Baltimore Blast, an Eastern Conference showdown. The Tropics have only defeated Baltimore once in their history. That came a couple of seasons ago here at the RP Funding Center, a game you probably remember very well, Anthony, and that was Lucas Teixeira scoring with 19 seconds to go to give the Tropics a 5-4 win, arguably the biggest win in team history until that one in Milwaukee a couple of weeks ago. Tell us about playing a team like Baltimore, which you know comes in loaded with talent, will be patient, will try and exploit mistakes. What's the game plan this evening for the Tropics?
Yeah, when you play a team like Baltimore, you know they're going to be structured. They got a lot of veterans on the team, guys that have won championships. So coming in, you know that you're going to have to be disciplined. You know that you're going to have to do your job, and like you said, any mistake they're going to be able to pounce on. So in indoor, you know, there's going to be a lot of mistakes. So how do you recover from that mistake? And we got to be the first ones to the ball and really clean up our mistakes, not giving them anything easy today.
Being disciplined certainly will be a key, something that Clay Roberts, the Florida coach, has talked about this week. The team was not especially disciplined here last week in that win over Orlando. And in fact, as a result, Rafa Alves, the defender, is out for the game tonight. He was red carded in that game against Orlando. So that carries a one-game suspension with it. So no Rafa Alves in the lineup, but a pretty good substitute in Rob Acosta. He is back in there, the MASL Defender of the Year 2 seasons ago. Has been a little bit banged up early in the season as well, but a chance for Rob to get in the lineup tonight to replace Rafa Alves. And also new, not on the floor starting, but we will see plenty of number 85, Lucio Gonzaga, who is a tremendous veteran in this league with all kinds of offensive and ball skill abilities. Will be big on reset and set pieces, certainly in the offensive third. So we will look for Gonzaga as this game unfolds. And in goal for the Tropics yet again, it's Brett Petracek, who was brilliant in the win over Orlando last week, despite having played or signed here just a couple of days before that game. Hugo Silva, the starting goalkeeper, is still out with a groin injury. He's getting better, but still will miss some time. And of course, Heiner House, who is signed from Orlando as to be the 1A goalkeeper, if you will, unable to dress still because of visa issues. So the call went out to Petracek, who has the ball now. And he was just great. 842 save percentage last week against the Seawolves. I don't know if anyone, Anthony, expected him to be as good as he was last week.
Just because, you know, he's getting the late call up, but Brett's a proven guy in the league. Many times playing against him in Kansas City, frustrated when he's pulling some of those saves out. So no real surprise that he came in and was a big boost for us. But I have to say, you know, with Hugo down, we're not really missing a beat with Brett back there.
Here's Zach Reggett in the offensive third for the Tropics, trying to turn, gets it over to Matt Clare. Clare will bring it back out, and the offense will reset. Reggett is really a talented target forward, uses his size as well as anybody in the league. Andrew Hoxie, who is kind of his counterpart for Baltimore, will do that as well. Here's Reggett in front, and Clare just puts one over the crossbar. Early chance for the Tropics, a whistle and a foul against Florida. Good work by Claire and Zach Reggett to create an opportunity there. Tropics a 4-0 start. As we said, Baltimore 2-2, so we know that Danny Kelly and the coaching staff, I'm sure, has talked to their troops about this being a pretty big game, as well as William Van Zela, the all-world goaltender, comes out over his yellow line, bangs it into the Florida end of the field. There's Andrew Hoxie, the big forward for Baltimore, battling in there. Now Tony Donatelli picks it up, being watched by DeRue, and he'll get it back out to the center circle, and Baltimore will reset. Here's Dos Santos. Looking down low now for Hoxie. Drew Ruggles on him. Back out now to Donatelli. Both these clubs will play a bit of a possession game in the midfield, looking to make runs and create opportunities, but I don't think any will be in a particular huge hurry, not wanting to make a mistake. But one of the things Clay Roberts has talked a lot about this week in practice is getting off to a much better and quicker start than they have certainly in all their games against Orlando. And so far, I think the pace has been a little bit better for the Tropics, Anthony, than we've seen in some of the other early games.
Definitely. Early starts have been something that we've been lacking. So seeing the guys come out here, you know, not getting too flustered, but keeping a good pace. Good to see us on the ball here, moving it and regaining possession. Have Baltimore work a little bit.
The captain, Victor Pereiras, over the yellow line. Pereiras, tried to get it down low to Tavernisi at the back post, and Joey just not able to quite get turned enough to get it on goal. But a good look by Pereiras. So definitely a much peppier start here for Florida, and that is encouraging. In fact, Clay Roberts went as far as to tell his club in practice this week here at the arena that this game could very well be won or lost in the first half. He really wanted his team to come out sharp, and they have been that so far. Here's Claire with it. Gets it back to Lucas Monaleras. Now up to Claire, being watched by Jeremy Rayleigh. Claire will possess back to Monaleras. Quickly over to Teixeira now. Lucas Teixeira with it. Monaleras will play it over to Ricardinho, who had that beautiful assist on the game winner by Guilherme up in Milwaukee on December 7th. That overtime win that really was a statement win for the Tropics on so many levels. Long ball into Reggett, but that goes over the glass and out of play. Baltimore with wholesale changes. Of course, those new to the arena game, it's a lot like hockey in that regard. Can change on the fly. There's no offsides. About the only rule that you really need to know is you can't kick the ball over all three lines, the two yellow lines and the center line. Other than that, there's no icing, no offsides. Here's Hoxie with it. 2-minute penalties like hockey, something that both teams would like to avoid. The Tropics have been very good, though. They have not allowed a power play goal in 4 games this year. So something to watch as we unfold here this afternoon. Van Zela gets it down. Ruggles with a good play to get it to Petracek, who outlets it down the left side to Gordy Gerson. Tried to play it back to Ricardinho, intercepted by the blast, but Ricardinho sends it back into the Baltimore zone. Ricardinho steps up, it's got Guilherme in front, but Guilherme couldn't get to the back post. Ricardinho tried to get it off the boards, but was a little deep. Here's an intercept now by Baltimore. That was Jonatas Mello, one of their better players. And Zela with it. William in his 8th year now in the Major Arena Soccer League, and every year among the league leaders, if not the league leader, in just about every goalie category there is. Guilherme with a nice defensive effort as he and Juan Galvis came together at the midfield area. Petracek over to Ricardinho. He'll lay it back to Petracek, who was also not afraid to come off his line. He was able to train with the Tropics here at the arena last night. Didn't have to go back to Illinois for most of the week, but did get his first full training session in with the Tropics last night. And as Anthony mentioned, while maybe not a huge surprise, a little bit of a surprise how well he played last week, but he has been staying sharp. Plays in Chicago in some of the indoor amateur leagues up there, which is very high level. So he had been playing indoors. It's Venezuela.
Wow.
With pressure from Tavernisi, also almost made a bad mistake there. That's Gonzaga 85 with the pressure, but Baltimore will break it. This is Vinny Dantas, who's got 9 goals to lead Baltimore this year. Got 5 of those in a win over Orlando last weekend. Long ball down to Dantas. Gets it through the legs of Ruggles, but an easy pickup for Petracek. Long outlet down for Zach Reggett now. Reggett tries to get it over to Pereiras. Reggett will battle. Taken hard into the boards there by Kita. Pereiras still with it. Now Reggett. Reggett is taken down. Whistle and a foul on Thomas. So the Tropics will get a restart here from the near sideboards. Still scoreless. Most of the chances belonging to the Tropics, though, early on. Here's Pereiras. Pereiras with a shot short side. That misses. Here's Reggett. Turns, can't get it. Claire with a rebound. And Venezuela able to get a hand on it. Again, a close opportunity for the Tropics, but we remain 0-0. Hoxie can't get that outlet, and Petracek will collect it. Petracek wants his club to head downfield. Guilherme wanted to hit Claire, but didn't give him a good ball there. Matt Claire's dad, John Claire, in the house. NASL fans remember John from the old Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Also played some indoor soccer with the old Canton Invaders of the NPSL. Here comes Gordy Gerson. Gets it over to Guilherme. Guilherme back to Gerson. Gerson with a shot. Going to try and follow it. And mishit it. And Ricardinho was also there, perhaps for a rebound. But the Tropics with good pressure early on. No score yet, but a good start for Florida. We've got a timeout on the floor. 7:32 to go. This is Major Arena Soccer League action on Great 38.
For your financial future, they have the expertise and background to help you manage investments, taxes, your retirement, or trusts. Log on to cballiance.com or call them.
I'm not sure like how much
Just,
you want me
just
to
jump in anytime. Yeah, anytime. Yeah.
As you grow. For the rest of the season. Congratulate the Tropics on their 4th ASL season. They're a proud partner with us for all their medical needs. Visit our website today at www.offline.com to see the many services that they offer.
How about just the Florida's good start, even though they haven't scored?
Suncoast Radio is the proud sponsor of tonight's game. At Suncoast Radio, they believe when it comes to successful money management, learn the basics of establishing a solid financial foundation.
Yes, they are. Baltimore's 2-2.
Their team checking accounts prepare teenagers to manage their money wisely.
Yeah, correct. Just the Eastern Conference and Western Conference, but they won't run away with it, trust me.
To the collegiate level. Want Suncoast Youth Outreach Team to give a financial literacy presentation at your school?
Yeah, there's like 9 teams in the conference. So you could just do like the top 5 or something.
Happy hour is every day at Wing House from 3 to 7 p.m. and after 10 p.m. Bring in your tickets to the Wing House in Lakeland this week and get 5 free wings. Check out the Wing House's menu online at winghouse.com/Lakeland.
Brian Ackley along with Anthony Arrico here at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland. And Anthony, a pretty good start for the Tropics, even though no goals yet.
Yeah, we're getting chances. One thing that's really been impressive, though, for me is our shape. and then our press has been pretty good. We're winning second balls. We're getting decent chances in. Just need to look to find the back of the net now.
That's funny, because one thing people say about me is my shape is not so good. So Tavernese with a takeaway. Guillerme trying to get a 3-on-2 going, but good defensive recovery right there by the Blast. Breaks up that opportunity. Gonzaga, the newcomer, will play it back to Drew Ruggles. Back now to Petracek. Already seeing Brett come off the line more than he did last week against Orlando. Getting a little more comfortable here with the Tropics. Going to be their #1 until Hugo Silva is fully recovered from that injury, and or Heiner Haus can get his visa issues resolved, but really that's an open-ended question for both. So it's Brett Petracek's game right now and will be for the foreseeable future. Ruggles gets around Thomas, down to Reagan. Reagan, good defensive effort there by Ndai. Here's Pereiras with a shot, and that will head up towards the Swan City Syndicate and out of play. Happy hour, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Brent, I was just going to point out our forwards are finding a lot of space up front. I'd like to see, we're getting one runner in. I'd like us to get another runner in and get a little help quicker to our forwards, because we're finding a lot of success when we're getting their feet.
Yep, give that a target forward an extra option is always a good thing. But yeah, the Tropics have had definitely the better of the play here over the first 8 minutes. This one will ping pong back to Petracek. Teixeira will play it back to the Florida goalkeeper. Looks down the right side for Ricardo Carvalho. Team's leading scorer and 4th overall in the MASL in points with 10. He's got 5 goals and 5 assists. Despite the lack of sleep, he continues to tell me he is not getting because of his newborn at the Carvalho household. Of course, he's thrilled about that, so maybe that's the secret. I don't know. Guillerme with the pressure. Guernsey with a kick out, and here's a 3-on-2 for Baltimore now. Their best opportunity, but Jamie Thomas perhaps a little too fancy with it and lost it, and Ricardinho able to make the good defensive play. Pereira will reset it now for the Blast. 10-time world champion Baltimore Blast. Played their first season back in 1980-81 in the original Major Indoor Soccer League. Here's Hoxie down low. And Baltimore has had a professional indoor franchise every season since 1980-81. It has not always been the Blast. The Baltimore Spirit for a time played in the National Premier Soccer League back in the 90s. Here's a nice through ball to Thomas. Thomas will take it off the boards. Leaves it back, shot, kicked out of there by Monolaris. So they are really, in my opinion, the true gold standard in the Major Arena Soccer League. Foul against Claire as took down one of the Baltimore players here along the near boards. That was Mello. I think he's gonna live. Donatelli will play it down low. It was Galvis, but he couldn't control it, but Donatelli will collect it at the midfield line. Baltimore won the 3 previous MASL champions before last season, when Milwaukee finally knocked them out of the Eastern Conference in the conference finals. But before that, the Blast had won in 2016, 2017, and 2018. Long ball down to Tavernese. Tavernese tried to, long ball down to Tavernese. Tavernese tried to get it across the box to Gerson, but that was intercepted. Here comes Dantas. Vinny Dantas with a deflection, and this will be a corner kick here for Baltimore.
Dantas is a very, very dangerous player, so it's good to see Drew come over for a little double there, and it was a great block.
It's easy to see why he's such a impressive target forward. That shot blocked by Tavernese was not on goal, but Tavernese took the brunt of it anyway. It's one of the things Clay Roberts has really emphasized since the start of training camp, and that is all 5 men behind the ball. A lot of offensive talent on this Florida team, but if you aren't willing to work hard and play defensively, then that may be a problem. So
that's something I've made a career off of here, Brian.
Yeah, you're as good a two-way player as the Tropics have had, no question. And they certainly miss your energy and fire out on the field, but get you back to full health before we get you out there again. Here's Zach Reggett with it. Pereiras will switch it up to Gerson now. Gerson tried to hit Reggett on the run in the box. Never got through. DeRue will pick it up. Saw DeRue with family members here today over the holidays. Certainly hope everyone has a great Christmas season and a wonderful 2020. Should be a good one for the Tropics. Heck, they're already 2/3 of the way to their win total last year. Here's DeRue back to Ruggles. Be nice to see the Tropics get one here late as a reward for their good play in the first 15.
Great ball.
Here's a ball to Pereiras, safe. Pereiras header, go! No, they're going to call a handball maybe? Nope, they're going to count it. Victor Pereiras. William Vanzella wanted a handball, I think. Here's a look at the replay, Anthony.
Yeah, it came off Vanzella, and Victor did well to get his chest over it, made sure his arm hand wasn't involved. It's a good goal. It's a great ball. It's great hard work by Zach as well.
Great work by Zach Reggett as well to set up Pereiras in front, and there is the reward for the Tropics. They lead at 1-0. 2:22 to go here in the first. One more look, Anthony, and a good work over there by Zach Reggett.
Yeah, uses a little wall pass to himself, opens up, finds Victor's run, and Victor does well to make sure he finishes it.
Yeah, drew 2 defenders over there when he did pick it up, and that left Pereiras open to make that wide open run. Here's Teixeira. Teixeira being watched in there by Donatelli. Claire will collect it at the midfield line over to Guilherme. Ricardinho making a run down the left side. Good ball to him. Ricardinho waiting for some help. Off the boards in front. Claire was making a run. Guilherme shot right on, and Vanzella makes a save. Not a particularly difficult save, but it was well struck by Guilherme, but right into the breadbasket of William Vanzella.
That's a good sequence, though.
Yep.
Ricardinho coming down, good ball off the boards. We had a couple runners in there just a little late, and Guy's always dangerous from anywhere, really.
Good defensive play by Teixeira against Rayleigh. Teixeira will try and clear the zone and is able to do so as we wind towards the 1-minute mark to go here in the first quarter. 1-0 Tropics on Victor Pereiras' 4th goal of the season. Gonzaga with some pressure now. Vanzella will get it up to Rayleigh here on the left side. He'll take a look downfield, but decide to give it off to Mello. Long ball into the Florida end of the field. Montoleros in there to try and intercept, and he will draw the foul. A little too crisp on the challenge there. And Ndaye was. Montoleros will leave it off to Teixeira, and Ndaye again whistles for the foul. And why that's significant, you should know, fans, if you get 4 fouls in 1/2, that's a 2-minute penalty. And that's the second on Ndaye in just about 10 seconds. So you don't see it all that often, but it does happen. That red card against Rafa Alves last week, I think that's the first red card I can ever remember here at the RP Funding Center.
Yeah, and that red card was his cumulative card, so it was a total of 3 cards Rafa received in the game, which resulted in the red card and a 1-game suspension.
As we said, Rob Acosta dressed here tonight. I don't know if we've seen Rob take a shift yet, but we will. Tavernisi lets it go through to Carvalho. Tavernisi going to recover on the far side, but Baltimore will come out of there with one last chance to make a run, but unlucky for the Blast as that one goes over the boards as Thomas was getting behind the Florida defense.
Rob had a shift earlier. He locked down Hoxie, and Rob's going to be spot shift as a lockdown defender. So yeah, he's got a job to do, and his one shift earlier, he did a great job.
And he's kind of working himself back into game shape as well.
Yeah, coming off a little knock, but he'll be back full force here.
Well, a pretty good quarter for the Tropics. A big hand from this crowd here at the RP Funding Center for the effort. Certainly the Tropics' best 15 minutes of any of the 5 games now here in the 2019-20 season. Back in a moment, this is major Arena Soccer League action on Great 38. Gordy Gerson on the Florida bench, shouting his encouragement. Part of a very good first 15 minutes for the Tropics. Gerson, of course, had that huge goal. Turned out to be the game winner last week against Orlando after the Seawolves had tied it in the fourth quarter at 3-3. And Gerson, who played for the Seawolves last year, scored just 10 seconds after that equalizer and really set the Tropics off to what turned out to be a 6-3 win. So Tropics will kick it off here, second quarter action. Bond Clinic is proud to be the official medical provider of Florida Tropics soccer, and their sports medicine team is dedicated to keeping the Tropics in peak performance. That's Bond Clinic. Tavernisi taken down, and a whistle and a foul. Kita with the infraction there, so it'll be a restart outside the yellow line now for the Tropics, who have not really had a set-piece restart in the Baltimore zone yet. It's where we figured Gonzaga would certainly pay some dividends. Petracek wasn't called upon in that first quarter nearly as much as he was last week against Orlando, and that's certainly okay with Brett. Very good defensive effort in that first 15 minutes as well, Anthony.
Yeah, 100%. That goal just came from us being committed behind the ball, and all that hard work really paid off.
Ruggles with it to Ricardinho. Ricardinho, who played with the Milwaukee Wave last week, tried to get it through to Tavernisi, couldn't do it. Here comes Pereira with it. Dos Santos was taken down and shaken up for just a moment. Correction, that was Sam Guernsey, but he's back on the ball. Penetration now into the Florida third. Ruggles with the pressure. And they'll get it back out to Adriano Dos Santos. Veteran blast defender. Thomas with a shot. Petracek with a good save on the short side, and again, no rebound, which is one of the keys in this game if you're one of the net minders. Here's Carvalho with it. Good pressure by Rayleigh, but that will go over the dasher boards and out of play. There's Rob Acosta back out here. Can always tell Rob with those baby blue shoes.
Let alone the beard.
Yeah, that probably is a little more of a distinguishing feature. Long ball goes out of play, unfortunately, for Petracek, so the Blast will make a wholesale change here and get a kick in their own zone. Teixeira on the intercept, but again, unlucky.
Yeah, someone just needs to tell me he has time there. He's solo header. He's thinking he has to go up to win something when he could have had some time to bring that down.
Teixeira going to get to that restart, though. Good move to get it back to Petracek. To Gonzaga, very collected player. Gets by one man. Long ball down to Matt Clare now. Matt Clare in the corner with a shot. Manzella with a save. Clare puts it through the box, but nobody there. Reggett was at the top of the box instead of going back post. Just a 50-50 call there, and Reggett decided to stay up top. Acosta again with a good defensive effort against Dantas. Clare will play it back to Petracek now. Ahead to the goal scorer, Victor Pereira, to Matt Clare. Clare will slow it up. Gives it to Acosta. Now on the near side here to Victor Pereira. Team captain, was the MVP of the Tropics SC National Championship United Premier Soccer League team this past summer. Was the regular season MVP and the playoff MVP. Long ball now down to Guilherme. Can't control it, but Monaleris will pick up the loose ball.
This is what I want to see, Brian. How long could we get Baltimore to stay on a defensive shift? You know, we're getting opportunities in and being able to kick the ball out. You know, can we get the Blast to get stuck on a defensive shift here?
On a great strike by Guilherme that time. He is such a good finisher and didn't really get much on that shot. As Gerson with the pressure now. Back to Venzela. Baltimore's been close to coughing it up a couple of times in their own zone. Venzela again, pressured by this time by Pereiras. DeSantos will take the wall pass from his goaltender and head back the other way, but good recovery by Gordy Gerson. Gerson had 34 goals last year for Orlando, but he can be as good defensively as he is offensively. He is both ends of the floor player. Seen him take balls off the line and, of course, score many spectacular goals as well. Hoxie with it, being watched now by Teixeira. Back out to Guernsey. Thomas with it now. Baltimore won't have a lot of time to regroup after tonight. They will be in Orlando tomorrow. Good sliding play by Monaleris. Kita will keep it alive here. Shot that goes wide on the short side. Guilherme tried to get it to Pereiras, but Kita intercepts. Tropics off until next Saturday when the Milwaukee Wave will visit here. Big rematch. I'm sure Milwaukee has that one circled on the calendar already after falling to Florida in overtime in the Wave's home opener earlier this month. Whistle and a foul. It's kind of a dangerous restart spot here for Baltimore, almost the equivalent of a corner kick. Hoxie out there. Sam Guernsey going back post. It's Hoxie with a shot. Here's a rebound. That never got through. Again, good defensive play by Monaleris.
Don't forget, Tropics merchandise is located in the concourse level behind section 232. There you'll find jerseys.
Just the one goal came at the 12:38 mark of the first. Victor Pereiras, his fourth of the year off the pretty assist by Zach Reggett. His fourth assist of the year. Both Pereiras and Reggett now with 6 points. Baltimore will build forward here once again into the Florida zone. Tavernese on the defense. Trickles through to Petracek, and he is Johnny on the spot to pick it up. Thought about making the long outlet pass, but Gerson was actually heading to the bench on a line change. So Brett will bring it off the line himself. Monaleris will feed it forward to defender Stephen DeRue. Tropics' only player that's ever had Major League Soccer experience, played with DC United. Monaleris trying to take it away from Ndaye, can't do it. Pressured by Gonzaga. Comes across Florida Mello. He'll play it all the way back to Venzela. Ruggles on the intercept, hit DeRue. That was a bad break.
Yeah, that was unlucky because we had good press to get him back behind the yellow. Venzela's forced to play a 50-50 ball that we won, and just unlucky that DeRue was kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Kita trying to get around DeRue, does briefly, but Stephen recovers. Good defensive play by Gonzaga, making his presence felt. Was in this week training with the Tropics, who got a chance to get some time on this arena field this week and next, which is always good. Of course, the Tropics training up at XL Soccer World in Orlando, but that's a much small XL Soccer World in Orlando, but that's a much smaller indoor field. Here's Ruggles on the counter. Ruggles moves around, takes a shot, blocked. Good defensive play there by Ndaye. Check that, that was Guernsey. Good run though by Drew Ruggles, who had 11 goals last year from his defensive position with Milwaukee. Not something that the Tropics are familiar with or used to seeing very often. Offensive-minded defender. He's very good defensively, don't get me wrong, but will join the fray when he can. Here's Guillerme. Teixeira comes up, and Teixeira will be whistled for the foul. Had a car accident or had a personal injury, then look to Brooks, the official injury attorneys of the Florida Tropics. Go to brookslawgroup.com or call 1-800-LAW-3030 for more information. Guillerme with the block, but then couldn't find it as Santos recovers. Here's a steal by Pereras. Pereras over to Carvalho. Carvalho is dangerous, got good 1v1 skills. Off the boards, but didn't take a great bounce, and it went right to Venzela. Thomas with it. Pereira will pick it up at the midfield line.
Could see a little frustration from Baltimore there, and that just goes credit to our confidence and ability behind the ball right now.
Yeah, been a very, very good defensive effort so far. Really a much, much better start here this evening for the Tropics than they've had in any of their games, even the Milwaukee game, which they won in overtime. Exactly what Clay Roberts was preaching this week and looking for, and he's gotten it here so far tonight. Nice sliding defensive play by Monaleris, but Baltimore will control. Mello will look to make penetration now. He's tripped up by Carvalho. Just a little bit of contact, and
yeah, Mello's a veteran player. He knew what he was doing there.
Melodramatic, I think they call it. Tropics will set up a two-man wall here. Mello looking, and he will get the return pass from Donatelli. Kirby with it on the right side to DeSantos. Mello to pick it up again. See if they want a little give and go here. I think that's what they wanted, but Monaleris broke it up, and now Carvalho comes out of it. He's tripped up, no whistle, as Dantes took Carvalho down. Play continues. DeSantos being watched by Carvalho. DeSantos gets it back on top to Donatelli now. Down low to Dantas in front, and it gets
oh my,
in.
what a save.
Yes, no, yes.
Oh.
It hit the post, came back. Petracek had it for a second and eventually found itself over the goal line. So we'll sort that out, but it will count as the Baltimore Blast goal as we take a break on the floor. 5:54 to go. We're tied at 1. Major Arena Soccer League action on Grade 38. Back in a moment.
Fans, please turn your attention to the field. We're beginning with tonight's
Your Syntec smart home works with devices like the Amazon Echo Dot.
Alexa, turn on all lights.
Many of your home's features can be controlled by giving simple voice commands.
Alexa, set temperature to 72 degrees. Alexa, play my playlist.
For extra convenience, you can also control your home's systems with your smartphone apps.
Major Arena Soccer League action is at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland with the Florida Tropics. For amazing family entertainment and non-stop action that doesn't bust the budget, go to fltropics.com and click tickets. So rise up, Florida, and join the ever-growing Tropics soccer movement. Go to fltropics.com and click tickets.
Here's something we've learned in the last 115 years. Energy connects us. In the conversations, the smiles, the interactions we experience every day. Lakeland Electric is proud to power local businesses, ensuring reliable energy for our friends, our families, our future. Lakeland Electric, powered for life.
Back here in Lakeland, Florida, as the Baltimore Blast have tied things up at 1-1, we'll get a look at what we think was a goal. It will count as a goal in just a moment. As the officials said, it did cross the goal line. It was a crazy indoor soccer kind of goal, but it'll count just the same, and it's tied at 1. Here's Zach Reggett. Reggett trying to find some help, will draw the foul as he got kicked in there by Jeremy Rayleigh. So kind of a dangerous restart spot here for the Tropics. Lucio Gonzaga going to direct a little traffic. Gonzaga off the boards in front.
Yes.
Goal! Well, speaking about crazy indoor soccer goals.
Yeah, that was some good karma there.
Yeah, that's some really good karma, no question about it.
Pretty much identical, but I'll be a little biased and say ours officially went over the line.
Yeah, ours definitely did. As Gonzaga deflects it and banks it off one of the Baltimore Blast. Here's that Baltimore goal just prior to that. Petracek off the post, and then I guess it was Mello, although they're giving Pereira credit for the goal. Petracek just not quite able to corral it, but the soccer gods smile on the Florida Tropics, and they take the 1-goal lead back at 2-1. That goal by the Blast came at the 9:04 mark, and Gonzaga will get credit for that one at 9:23. So just 19 seconds after the Blast tie it. Florida back on top now, 2-1. Well, we said Gonzaga would play a role on set pieces. Didn't know it would be a little lucky like that, but Tropics will take it. Good work by Matt Clare as he gets it all the way back now to the goalkeeper, Brett Petracek. Last played with the Kansas City Comets. Long ball down to Guilherme, but Rayleigh was able to get in the way of that one. Pressure by Guilherme. Ruggles comes up, but couldn't quite get it to Guilherme. But again, good pressure by the Tropics, almost making the Blast make a big mistake in their own end. They are close several times here in this first half with the pressure they've put on right from the get-go. And Zayla will come off the line now. Plays it ahead to Clare, who tried to maybe catch Vanzela off his line. Vanzela, as we said, all-world. Typically with goals against average, the 3s and 4s. There's a shot, good save by Petracek as he denies Donatelli on that one. Petracek's best save of the game right there. Ball off the boards to Tavernisi. He can't quite collect it. And Vanzela punches it out of there, and he and Tavernisi will shake hands after a little collision in the box. Great idea. And Tavernese just not quite able to bring that bouncing ball down to his feet. Talking about Van Zela's numbers, his career goals against average is .346. Crazy number for the indoor sport. Had his best season back in 2014-15 when he had a goals against average of .282. Dantas being watched by Ruggles. DeSantos now with it. Gets it poked away by Tavernese. It'll stay in play as Ricardinho will track it back with 3.5 minutes to play here in the first half. 2-1 Tropics. Pereiras in the first, Gonzaga here in the second. Hoxie being watched by Ruggles. Back to DeSantos. By the way, for Gonzaga, that is his 166th career goal in the MASL. Claire to make a run, looking for a little help. Ricardinho needs to make a line change though, so Claire will hold things up. Nice ball down to Regan, and he just couldn't push it through into the box. Good look by Matt Claire there. Pereira will come out of there with it, being watched by Claire. And Zela will come out to provide a safety valve. Long ball into the zone, header, just wide. Gonzaga with it, Ruggles. Over to Petracek, he will quickly get it out of the zone. To Santos on the intercept, and Baltimore with a little pressure here. Teixeira with it, to Ruggles. But again, the Tropics not able to maintain possession. Claire with a steal. Claire pushes it ahead. Claire gets pushed, still with the ball. Good work by Matt Claire, but unable to convert. Gets it to Gonzaga though, and the Tropics will maintain possession now. Line change coming up. Claire will head off. Victor Pereiras on. Ricardo Carvalho will join him. Here's Teixeira. Inside 2 minutes to go here first half. Been a good one from the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, Florida. Great to have you along at MASL.TV, Great 38, and NBC Sports Washington. If you're watching up in the Baltimore area, we welcome you aboard as well. Teixeira will put it back in play. Gives it to Pereiras. Love to find a little opening there. Pereiras with the right-footed shot. Sends that halfway to Oldsmar. These final 90 seconds, Anthony, you don't want to go to sleep here. If you can get to the intermission with a 2-1 lead, I think the Tropics would be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have liked to have seen us hold a little possession there. With that 2 minutes mark on the clock there, I would like to see how long in that 2 minutes we could have kept the ball for. You know, a team like Baltimore is going to pounce on anything. So now we just got to lock in behind the ball, see if we can get some possession back, but can't allow anything here for the half.
Yeah, Baltimore has had the edge in possession for sure over the last 4 or 5 minutes, so Tropics wouldn't mind, as you point out, getting a chance to perhaps run a little clock and then create a good scoring chance for themselves as well. Long ball down to Carvalho, a little too tall for Ricardo, and so the Tropics quickly give it up again. Monaleris will intercept, gets it ahead to Daru. Daru loses it though. So Baltimore once again with possession and a chance to push forward here in the final minute. Hendaye, rather Guernsey over to Van Zela, right back to Guernsey. Donatelli will send it into the Florida end of the field. Monaleris will step in front of Dantas. Good work by Ricardinho to get it back out to the midfield circle. Played all the way back to Van Zela. Guernsey. Van Zela will send it right back to the Baltimore defender and right back to the Baltimore goalkeeper. Penzela will take a look into the Florida end of the field, looking for Dantas, being watched down there by Monaleris. Ricardinho comes in for some defensive support. Kick back out to Guernsey. Kita with it, top of the box. Look out here, dangerous turn at the buzzer. And the Tropics survived that late scare as Vinny Dantas made a turn and a bid at the buzzer. But as it turns out, 30 minutes in the books. That's only the half of it here at the RP Funding Center. It's the Florida Tropics 2, the Baltimore Blast 1. We'll be back to talk about the first half action and other news around the Major Arena Soccer League in just a moment. This is MASL Soccer on Great 38.
Anytime you can hold Baltimore to.
Yeah, absolutely. Back here at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, Florida, the Florida Tropics with a 2-1 lead on the Baltimore Blast. Pretty good first half. In fact, a very good first half for the Florida Tropics. And anytime you hold the Baltimore Blast to 1 goal, Anthony Rico, that's a pretty good half.
Yeah, I'd say so. Our commitment to defense really stood out there. Having 5 guys behind the ball at all times, really you could see the frustration on Baltimore, and that's just credit to our discipline and our shape.
So let's take a look at why this is really such an important game early on. The Tropics, as we've mentioned, lead the Eastern Conference with a 4-0 mark, but Utica City right there, the Heat right there, 3-1. Milwaukee, who will be here next week at 2-1, and there's the Blast in 5th place at 2-2. A little bit unusual for the Blast to be off to the slow start, but both of those losses, Anthony, came against Utica City, and Utica City probably is one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the MASL this year.
Yeah, 100% agree. out there in the East, I mean, Utica and Blast kind of be like our situation here with the Tropics in Orlando. You know, they're going to see each other more times than they would like. And Utica City, I mean, that place is a fortress. They do their home games. I mean, playing there last year, you know, that place gets pretty loud. So that's going to be a battle out there.
And the other reason this game today and next week against Milwaukee is so important is the Tropics do not play Utica City or Harrisburg during the regular season. So there's no real chance to impact the standings against teams that you may be battling for a playoff spot against, except for Milwaukee and Baltimore. So tonight's game will kind of set the table for what may be to come over the next couple of months as things switch around in that Eastern Conference. But the Tropics like where they are right now, atop the conference at 4-0. Halftime here in Lakeland. We'll be back with more review of first half action in just a moment. It's the Florida Tropics 2, the Baltimore Blast 1. This is Major Arena Soccer League action on Grade 38. Back here in Lakeland, Florida, the Tropics 2, the Blast 1. Goals by Victor Pereras and Lucio Gonzaga for Florida. We will take a look at some highlights in just a moment when we come back. This is Major Arena Soccer League action on Grade 38. Well, Coach Clay Roberts wanted a very good start here for the Tropics tonight. Hadn't been particularly pleased with how his club had played in the first half in at least 3 of the 4 games coming in, even though Florida won all 4. But Anthony Rico, I think Clay Roberts, the message at halftime has to be good effort, boys, for the first 30. Now we need another 30 just like that. We'll take a look at the highlights of the first half. The Tropics got on the board first as Victor Pereira's took a pretty pass from Zach Reggett and used the old noodle to put Florida on top, 1-0, but a lot of credit to Zach Reggett there.
Yeah, that's a lot of strength for one man right there to hold off 2 defenders, and Victor making a very good run.
Here's that second goal, and I guess they're going to credit it to Jonatas Mello there in front, and then the Tropics tied it up. Some good fortune on the restart from Lucio Gonzaga, his first game with the Florida Tropics after signing as a free agent just a few weeks ago. He had not dressed before tonight, but was brought in part to really provide some leadership and some direction, if you will, on those set pieces. And even though he got a little lucky, that move paid dividends. And Gonzaga, Anthony, you know, as a player in this league for many years, really brings kind of a presence to the Tropics that I'm not sure as many talented players as we had. They had the kind of presence that Gonzaga brings. So we'll see how the second half unfolds, and if Gonzaga can make another statement in the final 30 minutes, the Tropics would love it if he could. 2-1, Florida leads the Baltimore Blast. Back with more Major Arena Soccer League action in the third quarter kickoff in just a moment on Great 38.
Your Syntec smart home works with devices like the Amazon Echo Dot.
Alexa, turn on all lights.
Many of your home's features can be controlled by giving simple voice commands.
Alexa, set temperature to 72 degrees. Alexa, play my playlist.
For extra convenience, you can also control your home's systems with your smartphone apps.
Major Arena Soccer League action is at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland with the Florida Tropics. For amazing family entertainment and non-stop action that doesn't bust the budget, go to fltropics.com and click tickets. So rise up, Florida, and join the ever-growing Tropics soccer movement. Go to fltropics.com and click tickets.
Here's something we've learned in the last 115 years. Energy connects us. In the conversations, the smiles, the interactions we experience every day. Lakeland Electric is proud to power local businesses, ensuring reliable energy for our friends, our families, our future. Lakeland Electric, powered for life.
Action here at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland as we get ready for the Tropics and Baltimore Blast to return to the field. This is the second of 3 consecutive home games for Florida. They have 2 3-game homestands on the schedule this season. The one they are in the midst of now, then they will go on the road right after the New Year's for a game in Rochester, and then a rematch on Saturday, January 4th against the St. Baltimore Blast. As we take a look at the Southern Homes home cooking home schedule for the Tropics, the final game of this homestand comes next Saturday against Milwaukee, and then 3 dates in January, 2 consecutive Sunday starts. Those will be 3:05. Those will be 3:05 broadcasts here on Great 38, and the Orlando Seawolves will provide the opposition for both of those. Then January 25th, the 3-game homestand. The second one will wind up against the St. Louis Ambush. And then a treat for area soccer fans as the San Diego Sockers, one of the truly historic and legacy franchises in soccer, certainly indoor soccer, 13 world championships stretching back all the way to their days in the 1970s in the North American Soccer League. And of course, Anthony, the team that provided the opposition for that historic game here in Lakeland, November 11th, 2016, when you guys were down 4-1 to the historic and vaunted San Diego Sockers, and here were the Florida Tropics, the upstart Tropics. Nobody knew a thing about us. It was our first game ever. You're down 4-1 in the fourth quarter, and lo and behold, you roar all the way back to win at 6-5. That has to be, for you as a player, I'm sure, one of your best Tropics memories.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better start for an organization. You know, San Diego being as credited and as a team as they are in our league. You know, you look at that first scheduled game and you're saying, that's a tough one for the Tropics. But we had all the confidence in the world going into that game. You know, we were confident in who we had on the field, and you know, that's why we played 4 quarters. You know, we came out, and that's what we have to do here today is we have to play like we did that first half for a full 4 quarters.
Well, this Tropics team looking like a confidence and loose bunch as they come out of the locker room onto the floor to start this third quarter, up 2-1. And we'll see how it all plays out over the third and fourth periods here. Contas will take it into the Florida zone, tries to play it off the boards. Ruggles intercepts that, but it goes right back to Vinny. Contas with it on the near board. Shot, that is wide on the short side. Ricardo Diegues is the guy who scored the game winner in that win over San Diego, 6-5. Scored it with about 31 seconds to go, and Ricardo, the reigning MASL Player of the Week after a 4-goal performance for Utica City last weekend. Congratulations to Ricardo. Of course, the Tropics all-time leading scorer, playing 3 years here before moving on to Utica this past offseason. Victor Pereira's now the Tropics all-time leading active scorer, and he has the ball, switches it up over to the far side to Teixeira, who's got a little space. Teixeira lets it fly, and Manziel is able to make the save. Teixeira with good work to track down the rebound. Let's see if it'll stay in play. Manoleros will send it back towards the center circle, and it'll be headed out of there by Mello. So Florida will get a restart from the near sideboards here. Speaking of the Wave, they are in action just up the road a bit in Orlando. A 7 o'clock start tonight between the Wave and the Seawolves at Silver Spurs Arena. Ricardinho gets it down to Zach Reggett. Reggett, he's dangerous from just about anywhere inside the yellow line. DeRue with it. Leaves it for Claire. Now back to DeRue. Gets Kita off his feet just a moment. Claire chips it in for Ricardinho. Injured player, and that's DeRue. Looks like maybe a quad muscle on the right leg. We'll see.
Yeah, as he was coming inside, looks like he and Kita collided a little bit.
At it, yep.
Old school Charlie horse there. Just got to run those off.
CPS Investment Advisors is your partner for your financial future. We have the expertise and background to help you manage investments, taxes, your retirement, or trusts. Log on to cpaalliance.com or call us at 863-688-1725. CPS Investment Advisors, steady as you grow. Looks like DeRue will head to the Tropics bench. Hopefully we'll see him back. That would be a...
DeRue's as tough as they come. Get some magic spray on there on the bench, and he'll be out here in a second.
I was going to say it would be a tough loss, but yeah, he is a tough guy, so would expect perhaps that they will get him patched up and back out there. Petracek hooks deep for Reggett. Reggett off the boards, trying to control it. In there is Keita, but Reggett manages to keep possession. Back to Ruggles. Over to Teixeira now. Down deep again to Reggett. Reggett tries to turn, can't quite get the angle. Ball played ahead to Ndiaye, but too far for him. So Petracek and Ricardinho will play a little pep. Now Manoleros, part of that big defensive effort in the first half, tries to find Reggett. Manoleros tried to step up on the intercept. Good defensive work back there by Sam Guernsey. He's drawn a lion's share of work against Zach Reggett, and that's a bit of a lion's share of work against Zach Reggett, and that's a bit of a physical mismatch, but Guernsey has certainly held his own. Here's Monaleros ahead to Gordy Gerson now. Gerson down to Regan. Off the boards, tried to get Gerson on a run into the box, but didn't have much on the pass. And Vanzela was easily able to corral it. Mello will play it ahead now to Donatelli, who's been a little quiet. Mello with it. DeSantos gets by Guillerme. Off the boards in front. Petracek does a nice job to read that one and cover up. And Daye and Monaleros tangled as well there on the goal line. Gonzaga has his pocket picked by DeSantos. Baltimore looking for the leveler here. 4 minutes into the third quarter. Pereira. Now this is DeSantos with it. Guillerme sticks a foot in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, please be aware of game plans.
So DeSantos will put it in play. Donatelli quickly down low now to Dantas, over to Donatelli. Donatelli with a little back heel to Pereira. Gets it over to DeSantos, who directs it in the general area of Kita, who collects it. Pressured by Monaleros, but back to DeSantos. Telling you, this Tropics pressure is going to result in something good before all is said and done, as Monaleros has whistled for the foul.
We're doing a great job of keeping Baltimore on the perimeter here. And if we're giving up anything, it's long contested shots.
There's a long ball, and that one skitters wide. Yep, that's what you want to do as a defense, is keep it outside, keep it near the boards if you can. Here's DeSantos with it, pressured by Guillerme. Pereira's going to chase it, but Pereira keeps it away from Pereiras.
Good
now
seal.
Here's an intercept by Pereiras. Pereiras gets it over, shot, goal! Well, we just got done saying that Tropics pressure was going to result in something good. And there it is Victor Pereiras on the takeaway. The perfect feed to Ricardo Carvalho, and the Tropics lead it 3-1.
Yeah, Carvalho was the benefactor there of great hard work from himself and Victor. See Carvalho put pressure on Vanzela, forces a turnover. Victor finds Ricardo for an easy finish.
Essentially turned into a 2-on-0. And that is the hard work that Clay Roberts was looking for right from the start of the game tonight, and he has found it. And the Tropics lead it 3-1. Teixeira with it now. Back to Ruggles. First 2-goal lead of the game for the Tropics. Claire leaves it off for Ricardinho, back to Claire. Teixeira quickly out to Ruggles now at the midfield circle. Down low to Tavernese. Joey looking for his first goal of the year, but has been big with 4 assists. There's Tavernese with a shot, and Vanzela just got a hand on that one.
That one would have been right on cue there for you, Brian.
Yeah, another one. Well, he has been an important contributor, even though he does not have a goal yet. Here's Ruggles. Ruggles with some fancy footwork. Oh, and he just missed it short side. Ricardinho thought he might tee up the rebound, but instead will pull it back. What a play by Drew Ruggles.
I like that play from Ricardinho, though. We just had a lot of pressure. Now we can keep the ball, keep Baltimore on, get our changes in, get some new, fresh legs on there, and try to keep Baltimore out on the field.
Boy, that would have been a highlight goal for MASL primetime if Ruggles had converted. It's a great new weekly news show that the MASL is putting out. You can catch it at maslsoccer.com. All the highlights, interviews, and really a nicely produced weekly piece to keep everyone in the know on MASL soccer. Here's Regan trying to lay it off for Gerson. Gerson with a shot, goal! Gordy Gerson with his second in as many games. and the Tropics lead it 4-1. Boy, kind of an innocent-looking starting play, but what a finish. Just a crazy hop off the boards, and Gerson was the right man at the right spot.
Yeah, it was Gordy who came back, had the ball on our midfield line, and he found the opening for Zach. Zach had a nice little flick on, took a fortunate bounce for Gordy, and Gordy did what he does best and just tucks that in the top corner.
Been battling a bit of a foot issue pretty much all season, but Gerson comes up big. So no, Baltimore trails by 3 here, but a ton of time. We're only halfway through the third quarter, and Monaleris is going to be called for a push on Juan Galvis near the top of the penalty arc. So this is a dangerous restart opportunity for Baltimore that needs a spark. Tropics need to make sure they get their wall organized here. Donatelli going to be the trigger man perhaps. He will lay it off. Shot, that goes high and wide. Came off the foot of Pereira, and was it deflected, or are they going to call a corner kick here? And I don't think so. I don't think it was, and it will be a goal kick for the Tropics. Didn't think it was deflected.
No, but it's nice to see 2 committed guys going for that block.
Yeah, this has been as good a defensive effort as I've seen the Tropics give in a long, long time. No question about it. They were good in that Milwaukee game. They've been better here tonight. Pressure again. Guilherme steal. Oh, just missed. Carvalho bangs it off the outside of the post. Guilherme battles again. Now Daru back out there, so he's not going to miss a shift. Donatelli challenged by Pereiras. Daru, 4 of them in there now. Finally comes free and cleared out to the midfield line where Daru heads it ahead to Carvalho. This one will go out of play, and the Tropics and Blast both will make changes as we reach the officials' timeout here in the third quarter. A great start here for the second half for the Tropics. They lead it 4-1 now over the Baltimore Blast. Back with more action in just a moment. This is the Major Arena Soccer League on Great 38.
Players, coaches, staff, and fans, thanks for spending such a special day with us. Happy
Play underway here again in the third quarter in Lakeland at the RP Funding Center as Lucas Teixeira will take it over the center line and decide to send it back to his defensive mate, Drew Ruggles. 4-1 Tropics. They've got the only 2 goals here of the third quarter as Teixeira looks for Tavernese. Knocked away by DeSantos. Tavernese and Kita collide, and Baltimore will keep possession here. Keita with contact against Claire, and Claire going to be whistled for the foul. Jonatas Mello will put it in play for the Blast. Contas will get it back on top to Donatelli now. Well, one thing we know about Baltimore, Anthony, is they're not going to panic. They know there's a ton of time left. They know they've got the talent to get back in this game, so they're going to still play their game, be patient, and look for opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Indoor, like basketball, it could be a game of runs. So Baltimore having that veteran presence is going to know, there's a lot of time left. We got the players and a game plan in place where we can get ourselves right back into this. And for us on the Tropics side, we need to just continue to do what we're doing and stay committed to that defensive play.
Donatelli and Brett Petracek came together there. Looked like it had the potential to be dangerous. Here's Reggett. Reggett trying to tee it up. Pereiras can't quite collect it loose in the box. And an injury now to Baltimore's number 23. That is Jonatas Mello, and that is not a player that Baltimore wants to lose. Lanier Upshaw has a passion for embracing the upside of risk to elevate results, celebrating 75 years in the community as we take a look at that replay as Pereiras and Mello come together. Kind of an innocent collision, but Mello in a lot of pain. Lanier Upshaw is your go-to business for personal insurance needs. For more information, visit www.lanierupshaw.com. Lanier Upshaw, the upside of risk. Yeah, Mello is clearly one of the Blast best players. In fact, I think he was their leading scorer last year. Going to double check on that. He was a second team All-MASL selection. Yeah, he was their leading scorer last year with 41 points, and he will much favor that right leg, but not needing a ton of assistance to get off, so that's good news. But we'll see what the evening is in store for Jonathan Mello from this point forward.
Yeah, he worked hard to get back, try to put some pressure on Victor, and looks like he just planted his foot and got twisted up a little bit. But yeah, Mello is a crucial piece to this Blast team, and as a player in the league, looking around at other teams, definitely a player. I love the way he plays. His control and his ability to create is next to none.
Intercept by Pereiras, had a 3-on-2, but couldn't quite control it. Zach Reggett and Pereiras trying to work a little give and go. Here's Pereira. Pereira, as Daru runs to get in defensive position and does a nice job to recover. Rayleigh with it, runs into Gordy Gerson. Gerson, nice little back heel to Zach Reggett. Reggett pushed down from behind, no foul called. So Carvalho scores at 4:42, and then Gerson gets his second at 6:15, so about 90 seconds apart. For Gerson, his second. For Carvalho, his team leading 6th now of the season. Guernsey. Down low to Hoxie. Hoxie being watched by Monolaris. Keita with it on the left side now to Thomas. Down to Hoxie. Leaves it off for Donatelli, and a nice little give and go as he tried to hook up with Jamie Thomas, who had shaken in behind the Tropics defense for one of the few times tonight, but Thomas could not connect.
Yeah, that's how quickly things can turn around. You lose your mark for 1 second, and Donatelli, the veteran and good player that he is, spotted that run, and we're lucky that just missed.
Teixeira gets by his man, now leaves it for Carvalho. Carvalho down to Guilherme. Guilherme. Ricardinho comes in. Loose ball, takedown, and Monolero is going to be whistled for the foul on Hoxie. For 4-1 Tropics. DeSantos with it. DeSantos at the yellow line. Leaves it off for Pereira. And a whistle away from the ball. Not sure, was the clock not running maybe? No idea what the whistle was
Yeah,
for.
I think he got Lucas as the blast forward was looking to go upfield. Lucas gave him a friendly little bump and didn't allow him.
Well, friendly little bump shouldn't be a foul. There's another whistle and a foul. This time it's Galvis on the receiving end, who thinks it might be the end of his career. No, apparently not, hopefully. She jogs off. Here's Pereira. Being closely marked by Lucas Teixeira. Teixeira will play it all the way back to Petracek, who sends it in the general direction of Guilherme, who will chase it down, but Vanzela will easily get there. Vanzela with it. Tropics continuing with that pressure, though. It's already resulted in 1 goal here in the 3rd quarter. And there's a takeaway. Claire with it to Guilherme. Guilherme trying to tee it up. Instead, we'll bring it back out to the yellow line, and again, a good decision. He knows that Tropics need a line change, and so they'll keep possession smartly. And Matt Clare will give it up to Teixeira, back to Rob Acosta. Long ball deep into the corner for Joey Tavernese. Tavernese. He's taken down, no whistle. Ruggles with it. Ruggles interfered with, no whistle. Tavernese off to Teixeira. Tropics working hard to keep this possession. Good effort. Here's Tavernese in front. Shot save. Rebound. Claire can't quite knock it in. Boy, Tavernese and Claire have teamed up on that play before, and it's resulted in a goal already this year, and it was close again. Here's Tavernese. Tavernese off the board. Shot. Goal! Boy, I tell you, for a guy who doesn't have any goals, Joey Tavernese's been one of the best players for the Tropics this season, and he shows it again. He almost set up Matt Clare, and he does set up Lucas Teixeira.
Yeah, show me a better player in this league who uses the boards better than Joey does. It's fantastic recognition by not only Joey, but Lucas to make that darting run into the box, and what a finish, kid. Well done.
Well done indeed, and the Tropics extend their lead to 5-1 over the 10-time world champion Blast. Here's a chance in front, again a block, and not one but 2 Tropics defenders on that one. So Tavernese picks up his 5th assist. Lucas Teixeira his 1st of the season. And the Tropics in control now, 5-1. I use the word control a little nervously because in this game, and it's the Baltimore Blast, things can change in a hurry, as Arico said. Anthony Arico alongside here tonight, and we appreciate his insights as the Tropics have played truly one of their best games in franchise history to this point when you talk about both the offensive and defensive effort. No time to rest on the laurels, however. Here's Acosta, going to put it in play with Dantas lurking in the neighborhood. Sobrero with it. Giroux being watched by Galvis. Acosta being challenged by Dantas, so they'll play it back to Petracek. Gets it up for Rob Acosta, who almost made it a 2-on-1 with Reggett, but broken up at the last minute by Jeremy Rayleigh. Drew Ruggles, who's been sharp tonight, but who hasn't for the Tropics? Long ball in for Reggett. Leaves it off for Drew. Drew, top of the arc. Drew, shot, and that's blocked. Good defensive play by Guernsey there. Stephen Drew, not known as an offensive defender, but almost made it a 6-1 game. Here's Sobrero with the intercept. 3-on-3 for the Tropics, so Sobrero, seeing that they really didn't have much of a numbers advantage, will pull it back to Drew Ruggles. All the way back to Petracek. Great 3rd quarter so far here for Florida. 3 goals unanswered after a 2-1 halftime lead. They have now built the advantage to 5-1 over the Baltimore Blast. Looking for only their 2nd win in franchise history against the Blast. Here's Guilherme.
I'd really like to see us kill this and maybe, you know, last 10 seconds look to get something on target.
Lucio Gonzaga, who has one of the Tropics' 5 goals. Off the boards, little give and go to Gonzaga with Guilherme. Good idea. Look out here. Good defensive play by Teixeira. Here's Carvalho. Oh, and they're going to call Teixeira on the foul, or is it Ruggles? One of the two, but denied a good, it was a late whistle, but.
That was a very late whistle.
Comes with 18.7 seconds to go, so Baltimore with a last chance here maybe to blunt a little of this Tropics momentum. Guilherme gets in the way of that pass from Rayleigh, so took a few more seconds off the clock. Rayleigh will send it back out to the midfield to Donatelli. Rayleigh to DeSantos, trying to get it down low to Hoxie. Ruggles gets it off the boards. Carvalho in there, knocks it out over the yellow line. Shot and a foul this time against Baltimore, so the Tropics will run out the clock here. A terrific third quarter and a terrific 3 quarters for the Florida Tropics. They will head to the final 15 minutes with a nice but not overly comfortable 5-1 lead as Ruggles sends it deep into the Baltimore end. Manzella leaps to make sure there is nothing further on the scoreboard, but a big hand from this RP Funding Center crowd in Lakeland as they are enjoying the action tonight, 4 days before Christmas. The Florida Tropics trying to deliver their fans an early present. They lead at 5-1 over the Baltimore Blast. We'll be back with more action in just a moment. This is the Major Arena Soccer League on Great 38. Well, if there's any coach in the league that has a strategy here for the final 15 minutes that might work, my money would be on Danny Kelly, one of the great coaches really in the history of this sport, which goes back into the original Major Indoor Soccer League in the late 70s. Tremendous player for many years, and even a better coach. I think it's like 14 years he's been the Blast head coach. I'll have to double check it, but an incredible run for the Blast under Danny Kelly. And David Bascom, his assistant, has been with him, I think, like 12 years. So you talk about one of the recipes for success for the Blast, and it's consistency at the top with owner Ed Hale, head coach Danny Kelly, and assistant coach David Bascom as whistle and a foul against Pereira as he and Carvalho collided along the far boards. Into the box looking for Tavernese. That'll come all the way back to Petracek.
Come on, fans, we need you to get on your feet, get loud, and get Tropical!
Yeah, just to set the record straight, Danny Kelly became the Baltimore coach in 2006. So 13 seasons with the Blast, he's been calling the shots. And that came after a tremendous indoor career. A lot of that with the Harrisburg Heat, actually. Same with David Bascom. Of course, they both also were stars with the Blast. Here comes Dantas, but he will pull it back. Ruggles will collect it in front of Hoxie here. Nice calm little back pass to his goalkeeper, Brett Petracek. Blast really stepping up the pressure here. Not a surprise. Here's a nice lead ball to Ricardinho. Ricardinho looking for Regan. Oh, shot off the post. Almost an own goal as Donatelli broke up the pass, but it got behind Manzella and banged off the woodwork.
It was a great outlet by Matt Clare, and Zach did his job to get to the back post, and Ricardinho almost threaded the needle on that.
That's what he did in that game winner against the Wave. Threaded the needle past not one, not two, but three Wave defenders to find Guilherme back post for that dramatic and historic game winner in overtime. Tropics looking to go 5-0. Here's Guilherme. He's got Ruggles with him on a run. Here's Guilherme shot. Oh, and Manzella got a hand on that one.
That's a big save.
That is a huge save as Guilherme got all of that one. He is a great finisher. And Manzella stood his ground and was able to knock it up over the glass and into the crowd. Corner kick coming up here for the Tropics. Gonzaga again out there to do the honors. Ball through to Claire. Shot misses on the near post. Teixeira will settle things down. A lot better decision making tonight by the Tropics. I think you've pointed that out a few times, Anthony, and that will be gratifying to Clay Roberts as well.
Yeah, we've really been concentrating on, meaningful possession. What are we doing with it? If you're passing the ball, pass it with a purpose, and really concentrating on getting more things on goal, on target, and you can absolutely see that here tonight.
Yeah, and I think it's a process, too, of just meshing with all these new players. Here's Guilherme. Gets it to Gerson. Shot. Goal! Gordy Gerson with his second of the night. And the Tropics lead it 6-1. Wow. Nice play by Guilherme to get it over to Gerson, who didn't really strike it as well as I think he actually wanted to, and Gerson may have actually shaken himself up on the play a little bit. We'll take a look again and see, but Guilherme with that ball across the box, and Gerson was able to collect it and beat Valenzuela to the short side. Header try, Petracek with two saves. And then Ruggles able to clean it up as Baltimore tries to get their second of the night. Here's a takeaway. There's a shot. Petracek again with a save. And he will quickly outlet to Pereiras. Boy, this has been a clinic tonight here. Here's the Tropics. Pereiras will leave it off to Tavernese. Tavernese will get it back out to Daru, who will slow things down a little bit. Still a lot of time, but the Blast with a big hill to climb right now. Tremendous effort by the Tropics here this evening in Lakeland. Here's Daru with it. If they didn't have the attention of the rest of the MASL, they do now. Pereiras. Petracek will come off his line. Daru with it. So 4 unanswered goals by the Tropics, actually 5. It was a 1-1 game. Here's the shot by Ricardinho, save, and Zala for a moment gave up a rebound, but then was able to smother it. And Naye with it. Looks deep for Donatelli. Deroux on him. Donatelli turns. In the box shot. Oh, what a save by Petracek. Tremendous effort by Petracek as he robs Jeremy Raley. His best save as a Tropic. And here comes Ricardinho trying to make it a 2-on-1. He's tackled, and that's got to be a blue card, and it is. Juan Pereira going to go to the box for tripping. As great effort by Ricardinho to make it a 2-on-1. And Rich Grady pulls the first blue card of the night.
I don't know what the final score of this game is going to be, Brian, but we might look back at that save by Petracek there. And then his quick outlet that Ricardinho is on the counter, resulting in a blue card. This could be, that could have been a huge momentum swing to Baltimore that we just shut down.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, 6-2 with 10.5 minutes to go. And the Blast talent, yeah, it's still a ball game. And Petracek, just a phenomenal save on Jeremy Raley. Phenomenal. And then, as you point out, not only did he make the save, he started the counter.
Yeah, we got the old 2-for-1.
Exactly. So he didn't just rest on his laurels. He made the tremendous save and immediately looked downfield. So it'll be Gonzaga with Teixeira, Carvalho, Tavernese, and Pereiras on the power play here for Florida. Tavernese tried to lay it off to Carvalho. Couldn't do it, and it's knocked back out to the center line, and Gonzaga will calmly play it back to Petracek. Hasn't been as big tonight as he was against Orlando, but none bigger than that save just a moment ago on Thomas. Wow.
I don't think he's had to be, though.
No.
You know, our defense has been all-star performances from everyone out there on white, and but credit to Brett. Not, you know, could easily fall asleep back there during times like this, and he came up huge there.
Carvalho is looking to go back post to Pereiras. Carvalho will keep possession here. Play it off the boards to himself. Nice move. Carvalho shot. This misses short side. Tavernese in there to try and collect the rebound. And we're going to get a drop ball, I think, here.
Joey was licking his chops on that one.
Yeah, he was.
All right, fans, let's get loud. 1 minute remaining in the Lakeland Electric.
Here's a chance shot, and did it go across the line? It did not. Just trickled along the goal line and stayed out. Rich Grady was right there to take a good look at it. Carvalho back to Gonzaga. Gonzaga shot, that misses. He might have been looking down low for Tavernese. Gonzaga. Again, yellow line shot.
Oh!
I might be stuck up here.
What a debut for Lucio Gonzaga. He bombs one from 50 feet, and the Tropics lead it 7-1. Unbelievable. Boy, you don't put 7 up on the Blast very often, and you sure don't hold them to 1 very often. Danny Kelly wants a timeout. What a ball by Lucio Gonzaga, who came into this game with 165 career goals, make it 167. His second of the game, timeout on the floor. It's the Tropics 7, the Blast 1, back with the finale in just a moment. This is Major Arena Soccer League action on Great 38.
Today's game, legendary heroes, martial arts, Zen Life Center, Taekwondo.
Your Syntec smart home works with devices like the Amazon Echo Dot.
Alexa, turn on all lights.
Many of your home's features can be controlled by giving simple voice commands.
Alexa, set temperature to 72 degrees. Alexa, play my playlist.
For extra convenience, you can also control your home's systems with your smartphone apps.
Major Arena Soccer League action is at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland with the Florida Tropics. For amazing family entertainment and non-stop action that doesn't bust the budget, go to FLTropics.com and click tickets. rise up, Florida, and join the ever-growing Tropics soccer movement. Go to fltropics.com and click tickets.
Here's something we've learned in the last 115 years. Energy connects us. In the conversations, the smiles, the interactions we experience every day. Lakeland Electric is proud to power local businesses, ensuring reliable energy for our friends, our families, our future. Lakeland Electric, powered for life.
Well, I don't think anyone expected this. We knew it would be a good effort by the Tropics tonight, but it has been an 11 on a scale of 1 to 10. And Baltimore has gone to a 6th attacker with 9 minutes to go. Petracek tracks it down against Dantas, who misses wide. Here's Reggett. Reggett tried to take the long shot with the 6th attacker well out of goal, but couldn't get it through. Pereiras knocked off the ball, and Hoxie will come back the other way for Baltimore. Being watched by DeRue, and another block defensively for the Tropics. And as we've talked about, Anthony, both on and off the air, defensively, it's not just been one guy. A lot of times it's 2 guys on the ball making the play. You made the point that Baltimore might feel like Tropics have 6 players out there, not 5.
Yeah, I can only imagine what it's. I mean, from up here, we're shutting down everything. So I can only imagine what some of these Baltimore players must be thinking, as far as there being too many men on the field. 5 guys working together defensively, it'll drive a team crazy.
Been a thing of beauty, no question. Corner kick coming up here for the Blast. Pereira will take it. Leaves it off for Donatelli, and he sends that halfway to Fort Lonesome. So 8:26 to play here. And Danny Kelly going for broke. Down 6 with 8:26 to go. Lucio Gonzaga with a pair. What a great shot. I mean, that was 50 feet. It couldn't have been placed or struck more perfectly. It wasn't like it was a cannon. I mean, it was perfectly struck and perfectly placed, and Van Zela just never moved.
Oh, yeah, Vanzala was turned into a statue. That was an unbelievable shot by Lucio there.
Ricardinho ahead to Carvalho. Van Zela back in after the ball was kicked out of play. Ruggles gets it down to Tavernese. Tavernese to Ruggles. Shot! Oh, and he just misses over the top of the crossbar. Another great play by the Tropics, and that one just misses. And they're working just as hard with a 7-1 lead as they did in a 1-1 game.
And that's what you have to do to beat teams like the Blast. You know, and that's what we got to do to continue and put our names up there with the teams like Milwaukee, like the Blast.
Tavernese with it. He'll play it back all the way to Gonzaga. Was talking with Ivan Lambert, the Lakeland Ledger reporter here tonight. We're talking about whether or not this was the Tropics' best ever game, and I said by a mile. Not even a close second that I can think of, to be honest. This has been dominant from one end of the floor to the other over a team that didn't win the championship last year, went to the Eastern Conference Finals, but won the MASL championship the prior 3 seasons running. Vanzela trying to get to the bench. Reggett with some pressure. Acosta comes up to pressure Dantas. Vanzela does manage to make it to the Blast bench. The 6th attacker is Jonatas Mello. Good to see him back out there. He went off with a leg injury earlier this half. Mello has it now. Playing the Johnny Cash hit Ring of Fire here, and that's what Baltimore must feel like they've walked into here tonight. Tropics are on fire. Donatelli with it. Teixeira steps in to make the defensive play and clears it back out to the midfield line. Here's a turn. Mello with a shot to goal. Nice effort by Jonatas Mello there to go far post and make it a 7-2 game with 7:15 to go. Tropics want to make sure this doesn't turn into one of those moments of fury that Clay Roberts talks about, where you give up one and then you give up a couple another quick goals. Baltimore certainly has that kind of ability on the floor, and they will keep Mello in there as the sixth attacker now. That is the Blast's first goal since midway through the first half. Here's Pereiras. Giroux going to try and step up and challenge Rayleigh. Baltimore scored at the 9:04 mark of the second and had not scored since. Tropics had reeled off 5 unanswered goals. Giroux with some pressure, back to Mello. He gets it away from Guilherme. Here comes DeSantos back. DeSantos. Trouble here, look out. In front. Oh, and a nice defensive play by Ricardo Carvalho. Talk about getting 5 men behind the ball. There's a forward, Ricardo Carvalho, the team's leading scorer, getting back to make a very important defensive play, Anthony.
Yeah, this is where we have our mentality has to get back to where it was in the first 3 quarters, is getting behind the ball. Ricardo with an unbelievable run back, but we had 3 or 4 guys that were switched off there. So Blaster experience is, that's not going to be the last opportunity they have.
Not by a long shot. Still 5 minutes to play, but they are down 5. Mello, the sixth attacker. It was a pretty shot. It was a lot like Gonzaga's goal. It wasn't the most velocity. It was perfectly struck and perfectly placed. But Petracek has been big again here tonight. A redirect down low. Knocked out of there by Ricardinho. Claire leaves it to Ricardinho now. Gets it ahead for Claire. Claire gonna hold up possession now. Gets it to Tavernese. Claire gonna make a run. Claire with it will slow it down now to Giroux. Giroux brings it to the midfield area to Ruggles. Ruggles gonna play it back, I think, to Petracek. Finally does. DeSantos with a little token pressure. Now Giroux has it. Giroux ahead to Carvalho. Carvalho pushes forward. Gets it ahead to Reggett. Zach Reggett. He'll bring it back out to Giroux. Time is to the Tropics' advantage now as we wind close to inside 4 minutes to go. 7-2 Florida. Petracek. Look out here. Trouble as Petracek gives it up. Steal by the Blast. Here is Thomas with a chance. Thomas lays it off. Shot, and that's deflected again. This time it's Gonzaga. Boy, has he had a game. Little boo-boo there by Brett. And Baltimore will end up with a corner kick out of it. Always a dangerous set opportunity here, especially when you're with a sixth attacker. They really didn't do a lot with it. Donatelli back to Mello, where he scored his sixth attacker goal. Back on top to Donatelli now. Giroux at the top of the box here for the Tropics, along with Carvalho. Reggett, Ruggles, and Gonzaga out there as well. And speaks volumes for Lucio Gonzaga in his first game that Clay Roberts has him out there on the floor. Very veteran, steadying presence who's had 2 goals tonight. Rayleigh gives it up to Donatelli. Reggett taken down, no whistle. It's going to be a 6-on-4 here. Petracek will come out and collect a loose ball. Ruggles not happy that there wasn't at least a foul called on that contact with Zach.
Yeah, accident or not, I mean, anything to the head, we got to be careful these days.
Yeah, and that's something that the league is certainly wanting to emphasize more this year, is contact above the head and shoulders. For over a century, Lakeland Electric has stood ready to power our community through sunny days, cold fronts, and even devastating hurricanes. We are proud to be your public power source in Lakeland, and we are committed to the City of Lakeland's mission to create a community that works together to achieve an exceptional quality of life. For all the information you'll need, visit us online at lakelandelectric.com. So Reggett will head to the bench under his own power.
You score 50% online discount on your Domino's order on Monday. Just go to Domino's.
So I think I misspoke just a minute ago. The Tropics didn't have 5 unanswered goals. They had 6. Yeah, it was a 1-1 game. They had 6 unanswered in that home win here again, or actually it was a road win in Orlando, the second game of the season. So it's the second time already in 5 games the Tropics have gone on a 6-goal scoring run. Teixeira can't control it. Inside 3 to go now.
Name of the game here is delay, delay, delay. Cut off passing lanes. You know, Baltimore is going to be up a man, so you know that there's going to be a pass, but just like Lucas did there, can you close it down quickly and just deny, deny, deny?
Another good defensive effort. Mello with it at the yellow line. Cross through the box, stays in play. There's a shot, Petrusek. That was a relatively easy save, and he's going to throw it to the length of the field.
Go on, Matt.
Here comes Matt Clare trying to come in and collect a late goal. Couldn't get there in time as Pereira broke it up at the last second. Hoxie with it. Over to Dantas. Look out here, Dantas. Shot. That one bangs off the boards just wide on the short side. Inside, 2 minutes to go now, as the Tropics look to put a finishing touch on what has been an impressive effort. Here's Tavernese. Benzela back out. Ricardinho will play at the Ruggles, and the Tropics will certainly play the possession game here. Ricardinho will flick it back to Petracek. Ruggles will somehow be called for a foul. Donatelli went down, but that's a little bit of a dubious whistle on Drew, I would say. He just kind of used his body as a shield and spun upfield, and Donatelli just kind of threw himself to the turf. Hoxie with it. Hoxie off the board in front, never got through. Ricardinho will try and clear it. Didn't really get much on it, but clear it. Didn't really get much on it, but this one is all but over. Teixeira with a block. Gets it ahead to Tavernese. Joey tried to get it out of the defensive third, can't do it. Teixeira battling in there with DeSantos. There's a chance, and again another block, and again it's a forward doing it. Tavernese on the block. Hoxie.
All right, fans, 1 minute left in the game. Let's get
Hoxie with a redirect, and that kind of sums up the night for the Baltimore Blast. Andrew Hoxie with a great opportunity on that ball through the box, and he wasn't even close. So the Florida Tropics will extend their franchise record winning streak to 5 games now. They will remain atop the Eastern Conference standings at a perfect 5-0. Only one of 2 teams in the entire MASL with a perfect record. Monterey Flash out in the Western Conference, the other team that currently is 5-0. And the Tropics will have a whole week to enjoy this one. They'll enjoy it tonight, but they will get back to work quickly because they know the Milwaukee Wave are lurking and will be in town next Saturday with revenge on their mind. One of the Tropics' 5 wins this season in overtime in Milwaukee in the Wave's home opener. They raised the championship banner, got their championship rings, and the Tropics spoiled the party. So the Wave would love to do nothing more than return the favor a week from today, right here on Grade 38, a 5 o'clock start. So if you can't get out here to the RP Funding Center, and we'd love to see you out here. This has been an entertaining game from start to finish. You can catch us on Grade 38 next Saturday at 5. Of course, all the games also streamed live online if you're not in the area at masl.tv. Blue card coming up, and I think this is going to go against Daru.
Yeah, he got his hands up high on Dantes when he was going for the block there.
Got a little tangled with Vinny in front of the players' bench over there, and Daru didn't set a very good example. I think I saw his daughter here tonight.
Yeah.
So Daddy might have to do a little splaining on that one to her. But otherwise, everyone in the Daru family should be pretty happy about the effort. So let's see if the Blast can add a late one here to make it look a little more respectable. It'll essentially be a 6-on-4. With Mello in as the 6th attacker. Donatelli with it. Downloaded Dantas in front, but Petrusek able to cover up. Petrusek unloads to Tavernese. Tried to make the bid from distance with Mello trying to get back as the 6th attacker, but couldn't do it. Down to 17 seconds to play. Tremendous win here tonight for the Florida Tropics. The Blast will fall to 2-3. And as we said, you're going to have to dig into the record books to find out the last time Baltimore was a sub-500 team 5 games into the regular season. Of course, 2 of their losses have come against Utica, 1 in overtime last weekend. Here's a shot that just goes high over the crossbar, and that's going to do it.
And we're right in the record books at 5-0.
Big cheer from the crowd here at the RP Funding Center. And why not? An early Christmas present delivered by the Tropics. A dominating win over the Baltimore Blast. The final score, the Florida Tropics 7 and the Baltimore Blast 2. We will be back in just a moment. This is MASL Soccer on Great 38. Well, how much fun was that, Tropics fans? A big 7-2 win over the Baltimore Blast. It's only the second time in 4 years that the Tropics have defeated Baltimore. The first time came a couple of seasons ago with a dramatic 5-4 conclusion, but today this one was never really in doubt as the Tropics, for the second time this season, scored 6 unanswered goals. It's almost hard to remember that it was a 1-1 game midway through the second quarter. It was kind of, I don't want to say a nondescript first half because the Tropics played very well, but they only led 2-1 at halftime. And as we said at the top of the broadcast, this really was kind of a big game, even though it comes very early in the season, just the 5th game for both the Tropics and the Baltimore Blast. But the Tropics continue to set team records, certainly their best start in team history, and also extend their current winning streak to 5 games. They had never won 5 in a row. They had never won 4 in a row before defeating Orlando last week. So the Tropics remain perfect and atop the MASL Eastern Division standings with a 5-0 record. Utica City still on the doorstep, knocking at 4-1. They already have 2 wins over the Blast this season, as we mentioned. Harrisburg has been a nice early season surprise, although if you know Kevin Healy and that group in Harrisburg, you know they're going to have the heat ready to play. The Wave at 2-1, they are playing in Orlando and just have kicked off in the last couple of minutes at Silver Spurs Arena. So the Wave will come in either 2-2, probably 3-1. Certainly favored over Orlando in that one. And there's Baltimore with the 2-3 record. And that is a big surprise just because you don't ever expect to see the Blast under 500 any point of the season. And they will certainly be big contenders coming down into the rest of this MASL season. We're going to head down to the field now, and Anthony Rico is with maybe the man of the match for the Tropics, Lucio Gonzaga. His first game in the orange and white with 2 goals.
2 goals. How you feel? I feel great. You know, I love the game. You know, I always keep myself fit. So when the opportunity, you know, show up, I'm always ready. So I'm happy that I could contribute with the win, and you know, very good welcome. So I'm happy.
Didn't look like you skipped a beat, man. So coming into the team, first game against the Baltimore Blast, huge win. So what do you think the team needs to do going forward to make sure that we stay on this undefeated route?
I think it was a good statement. They already made a good statement against Wave away, and you know, beating the Blast is another statement. And that's what, you know, we need in this game. And then you know, everybody's by getting behind the ball defensively. When we get forward, we had a ton of, you know, guys that can score. So I think we're in a good track, and then we continue with the same mentality. You know, we can go far in this league.
I agree, man. Great game, and look forward to
Thank you
seeing
very
more
much.
of you.
Thank you.
Good job, man.
All right, thanks.
So the Tropics will conclude this homestand next Saturday against the defending MASL champion Milwaukee Wave, a team they have already defeated on the road in that overtime win back in early December. And then the Tropics will hit the road for a couple in Rochester on January 3rd, and then the rematch against the Blast on that very small field in Baltimore, which often makes it a very different game. That is on January 4th, and then back home for 3 in a row, starting on January 12th. The home cooking with Orlando against the Seawolves on the 12th and the 19th. Those are Sunday afternoon games at 3:05. And then the St. Louis Ambush will continue the homestand and end the homestand with a Saturday visit, January 25th, the Southern Homes home cooking schedule for the Florida Tropics, and then the February 8th visit that we'll all be looking forward to from the San Diego Sockers. Lucio Gonzaga had 2 goals tonight, and so did Kid Dynamite. He went boom twice as well. Gordy Gerson talks about the win.
All right, here with Gordy Gerson, 2 big goals for us tonight. How do you take the win?
It's great. Anytime you're playing a team that has won the league 3 years in a row, it's unbelievable to beat them, especially in your own turf. And for us to keep going 5-0 it's unbelievable, and it's really something special that we're building here. And I hope more people come out and want to be a part of this.
I 100% agree. What do you think was the key contributors to the win tonight?
Everybody just worked well together. We didn't get down on each other. We gave up 1 goal in the first half and stuck together, still kept the lead, and was able to get the next goal every time we gave one up. So the fight that we had today is something that could be very dangerous and look like a championship caliber team.
Awesome. And so for yourself, that's 3 goals in 2 games, I believe.
3 goals in 2
So you gotta keep on that run and feeling confident and moving forward. For you, what are you looking to contribute?
Yeah, I mean, I thank the guys a lot, because with the injury in the first game for me, coming back is, this is something I've never had to deal with. So for me, coming back in, guys got my first goal last game, and now I'm hopefully just going to keep on rolling, and hopefully we keep on getting wins.
Great, man. Congratulations. Great game.
Thank you.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
So Gordy Gerson, a big factor here tonight. He's still a little hobbled with a foot injury, but manages to get 2 goals in. We'll be back with more in just a moment from Lakeland. The final, once again, the Florida Tropics 7, the Baltimore Blast 2. This is Major Arena Soccer League action on Grade 38. Well, the fans are happy here at the RP Funding Center, waiting for a chance to get on the floor and get some autographs from a group of very happy Florida Tropics players as they win it 7-2. It was a 1-1 game midway through the second quarter, but the Tropics had 6 unanswered. As we take a look at some of the highlights, here's the first goal by Victor Pereiras, and that was the first of what was many to come for the Tropics. Replay again as Pereiras, Johnny on the spot with the header. And then Lucio Gonzaga with his first of 2 on the restart. A bit fortunate, obviously, as it deflected off Juan Pereira behind William Vanzela, and that point gave the Tropics a 2-1 lead. And then the pressure in the third quarter resulting in the easy goal by Carvalho as Pereiras makes the pass on the what essentially was a 2-on-0. And the route was on. We didn't know it at the time. It just made it a 2-1 score. And then Gerson with the first of 2, taking a fortunate bounce off the boards and going far post to beat Vanzela. And that gave the Tropics a 4-1 advantage. Lucas Teixeira then with a very pretty ball off the boards from Joey Tavernisi, who is a master at that. And that gave the Tropics a 5-1 lead. There's Tavernisi with a takeaway off the glass, and Teixeira makes the run in front. It became a 6-1 game, prettiest goal of the game as far as I'm concerned, as Lucio Gonzaga just finds the mark from about 50 feet out. A perfectly placed shot. That actually gave the Tropics a 7-1 lead. Before that, Gerson got his 6th, and then Gonzaga rounds out the scoring for the Tropics, makes it 7-1 before the late 6th attacker goal by Jonatas Mello makes it a 7-2 final. Happy fans, but maybe the happiest guy in the building is Coach Clay Roberts. He wanted a big effort tonight from start to finish, and boy, did he get it. Let's hear from the coach now.
Coach, big win. What do you contribute most to the team's performance tonight?
I think the guys really did a great job of executing our plan tonight. To take, on this team, Baltimore's always a great team, and to come out tonight and play with the guts that we played with and just the quality was fantastic to see. Great to see in front of our home fans, and definitely a win that's going to continue to propel us as we go in this season.
Yeah, definitely a statement win for sure. Beating Milwaukee away, taking care of business at home against the Blast. Moving forward, how does the team continue to get on this undefeated run?
Yeah, just got to keep sticking to the little details, believing in defense. We've had on our board all year, defense is going to win for us, and we've got so many threats offensively. That commitment to defense we saw tonight. What an unbelievable effort to hold one of the best teams in the league to 2 goals at home, produce 7 out of that. Again, couldn't have executed our game plan any better.
Awesome. Appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you.
Well, I don't know if Clay Roberts thinks it's the best win in Tropics history. You can certainly look at that game in Milwaukee on the road, and it was a tremendous effort and a tremendous win as well. But Anthony Rico, for my money, top to bottom, start to finish, offensively and defensively, no question it was the best home win in this franchise's history. It's one thing during the practice week to talk about putting out a big effort, making the commitment defensively, doing all those things it takes to win. It's another thing to actually do it for 60 minutes on the floor. I mean, the Tropics almost played a perfect game tonight.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, Brian. And to come in with a game plan and see it out for a full 4 quarters, it's not easy to do. But when you got a full, 15 guys committed to the game plan, you just saw what could happen. And a near perfect performance, I would have to agree. And that's a statement game too. You look at our wins, and that win in Milwaukee, I would say just because it was away, it would be a little bit stronger. Because you're always looking to take care of your home games. But to go up against the Blast and put together a performance like that, that's up there.
So I'll defer to the coach and the player in determining the best game ever, but certainly the best game ever here at the RP Funding Center for the Tropics, a 7-2 win. And as a player, Anthony, you haven't had the chance to play yet this year, unfortunately, because of your injury. We know you'll get back at some point here this season and be a major contributor, but talk about quickly what this does in terms of a confidence factor for this team, being so new, throwing so many talented guys together, learning how to play together, to mesh. Just talk about what that wins like this mean in that process.
Yeah, I mean, I think the confidence has been there since day one. All the behind-the-scenes stuff, we had the belief and the confidence that, we could have a start to the season like this. This game really is more for the league and the fans of the game to say, these Tropics, they're real. We have a team full of talent, a team full of experience. And it's, today was a great performance and a great showcase of everything that we have to offer. We have a lot of depth, too. Myself, Antonio Manfoot, we got guys that weren't featured today that can come in and be key contributors. I was joking with Coach a little earlier saying, I hope this hasn't put me into retirement yet. A performance like that, being up here and seeing the game, I'm itching to get back out there and, to fight and be a part of that. It's going to be an exciting year for sure.
Well, no question. We expected a good effort from the Tropics tonight. Don't know if we could have fully expected as good as it was. Brett Petracek, very good in goal again, had that huge save in the 4th quarter against Thomas, and that's the thing. The Tropics doing this with essentially their third string goalie. So not third string in talent-wise, but third that they've had to sign here this season. So the Tropics win at 7-2. We'll be back here next Saturday. December 28th is the Milwaukee Wave in town. This has been Florida Tropics Soccer on Great 38.